What's up, homies? What's up, homies? What's up, homies? Welcome to the Knowledgeable Homeowner Podcast. We pick the brains of industry pros to unlock the trade secrets of homeownership. Our mission is simple: to turn everyday people into knowledgeable homeowners. What's up, homies? I'm Sturdy Joe, and this is the Knowledgeable Homeowner Podcast. On this episode, I have Giancarlo from the Mosquito Guido on. We're going to chop it up, all things pest control, bugs, all that good stuff. So, Giancarlo, what's up, brother? How are you?
How we doing?
Welcome
Thanks for having
garage,
me on,
man.
Appreciate it. Yeah,
Welcome
the
to
barn.
garage. That's the barn, baby.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. Super excited to shoot the shit, chop it up. I'm all ears, and I got a lot to say. So
Good.
you tell me.
Good. I like that. So let's start off. Keep it simple. Who are you? What's your company? Give us the backstory.
Sure thing, man. So I'm Giancarlo D'Andraia. Grew up in Mount Sinai, Long Island. Very, very local. Small town over here in Suffolk County.
I saw your sign yesterday. I was in Rocky Point.
Oh, really? Yeah, they're all over the place, bro. So I started the business about 8 months ago. It was kind of in idea phases within the last couple years. But, I mean, it really took off within like the last 7 months, because that's when I really put it into play.
Yeah, I see your social media is going. You got a great thing going on social media. You're great for getting in front of the camera.
Thank you.
So, newer entrepreneur. Is this in your family? Is anybody else in your family in business? Why'd you pick going into business for yourself, and then pest control specifically?
Yeah, sure. So I've been in my own business realm my whole life.
Yeah.
I've really never loved the whole 9-to-5 thing,
yeah.
bus boy thing. Like, I've done a few things, but to be honest, I was making most of my money, DJing parties, buying and selling, quads, cars, dirt bikes.
Yeah, running Craigslist.
Facebook. Exactly. Just
nice.
honestly having fun and just making crazy money, flipping shit all the time.
That's funny.
So no one in my family is in the pest control business. I do have, my cousin with Italian touch detailing.
Nice.
My father with GID construction, get it done.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, so
your dad's in
the
construction world.
For sure.
Okay, sweet. So were you
so,
going on job sites as a kid, working
with
him?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Job sites, not necessarily working a lot with him. Mm-hmm. I would be filling.
Just being around.
Filling guy, a lot.
Yeah, getting picked up from school, and he's got to go run.
Yeah,
to a
exactly.
Shit.
Estimate, pick up some stuff, whatever. So
yeah, so you have the entrepreneurship, a little bit of the background, but it's more for you. That's the thing I say to me is like, I have no choice but to work for myself. It's kind of is what it is. Like, even if what we're doing now is great, but if for some reason something happened to it, I'm just gonna do something else for myself.
Dude, 1,000%.
It's the way to go. Yeah. But all right, cool. So you got into pest management. Did you work with another bug company or anything before? Or?
Yes, I was working with this dude long while ago. Probably I was like 15 years old. And that's pretty much where I found out about the whole pest control space.
Nice.
Really, like, more specifically, mosquito and tick control.
Yeah.
So he was doing the, all natural tick and mosquito sprays in the backyards. And I started to do a ton of houses for the guy.
Yeah.
So that was really great. But then the guy wanted, we got bigger. We got bigger and more people.
Yeah.
And the guy eventually wanted to sell me the business. But he really wasn't providing me with anything.
Yeah, so it's like, why am I going to buy yours? If you got to go out and get your own leads, this is advice I give to anybody looking to get in business. Like, if you're going to buy something, it's got to come with business. Mm-hmm. Like, if they're just giving you a shirt and their stuff, like, and you know it now too, it's funny, being a younger person in an industry, there's probably so much new either softwares for logistic or even the equipment that maybe that guy probably wasn't using. He was using the stuff that he got comfortable with and he came up with, but being like a younger generation, there's so much more that you can bring to the table, knowing the new tech, and logistic-wise too, like for home inspections. We have home inspection softwares now that just like run everything, and I know guys have been doing it a long time, refuse to change. So it's like you go out on your own, you're a young dude, you get your own equipment. It actually lets you serve your clients better.
1,000%.
Yeah. So you got into it, so you picked up your own thing. How did we land on the Mosquito Guido?
Yeah, so to kind of like continue that little story that I was going on, it was like really what ended up happening with the whole thing is the guy wanted to sell me the business. He was basically just providing me with, a few blowers and a customer list, but the insurance and the licensing, there was something that was lacking there, whatever. So I said, fuck it, I forgot about it, went to school, right? I was,
School like high school or college?
College.
Oh, okay.
So I went to college, forgot about it. And then 2 years in, I was like, I've been a professional side hustler my whole life. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm making dribs and drabs. It's great, but I need bread and butter. Like, I'm starting to get older now. Yeah. I need a real purpose.
Yeah, and you're in college. You're that college age. People are thinking about careers. Maybe some of your friends are already got out of school, started working. So it's like this is in front of you. Here's an opportunity. Let's run
Exactly.
with it. Yeah.
So I'll never forget it. I was looking to do a pest control mosquito company.
Nice.
And I was going to call it Mosquito G or Splat or some, some shit
Mosquito
like that.
G is because you're Giancarlo.
Yeah, Giancarlo, yeah.
You're also a G, so it
Yeah, thanks,
works out.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
So this girl, I'll never forget it. I will never forget it. I posted it on my story like a poll asking, what should I call it? And I went to Tangra nightclub that night, and this girl, Courtney Pedden, she came up to me. She's like, yeah, like, I don't know why you wouldn't call your business the Mosquito Guido.
Oh, so she just dropped
I'm
that
like,
dime
yo,
on you. That's it.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny is that probably, like, you need stupid little things like that to fucking rally behind.
Oh, dude, totally.
You know, like this, like, my company's Sturdy Homes. When I started, it was Sturdy Home Inspections, and, like, the second I had the name, because like I was in the licensing school for home inspections. I didn't know what it would be. I didn't want to be like Villani. Villani's my license. I didn't want to be Villani Home Inspections. I wanted a name. I like branding. I like making merch.
Totally.
So we have a dumb backstory for Sturdy, but pretty much it was my wife kind of making fun of me because I'm short and stocky. So Sturdy, I'm Sturdy. She gave me the name. I was like, fuck yeah, Sturdy. Sturdy Home. So I was Sturdy Home Inspections for a while, but then now I have Sturdy Home Inspections and Sturdy Homes to do different services. Sturdy Homes has always been what I've said in my head too. Like, this is Sturdy Homes, and you just rally behind it. So
Right.
Mosquito Guido happened, nightclub. That was it.
That was it, man. Yeah,
wrap.
and it's funny because I'm a pretty sober guy. Like I'm not a guy who's blacking out and getting crazy. So it's
the fighter
yeah,
background,
like
too.
yeah,
You can't do
exactly,
that. Yeah,
exactly,
kill somebody.
yeah, exactly. So. I mean, yeah, it was a good pivot point for me because I
Nice.
really found out. All right, this is what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
This is what it is.
Yeah.
So that's where my tunnel vision came in, and remember I said in the beginning, it was kind of in the works for 2 years. I was faking it because I was still in college and I was doing a bunch of shit and whatever. But then I was in my master's program for entrepreneurship at University of Tampa.
Cool.
And I decided.
So you were in Florida?
Yeah.
Are you from Florida?
No, I'm from
okay.
here. Yeah.
I didn't like you. Definitely are Long Island, 100%. But I was like, maybe I don't know, maybe you switched up. All right.
No,
so
no.
you went to Tampa for school.
Yeah, I went to Tampa. I dropped out in 3 months and
Cool.
took all my shit and moved back to New York. And
move.
I had a plan. I knew exactly what I was gonna do.
Sick.
So.
Isn't it great when you just have something you just focus on and just
Total-
run right at it,
1000%.
man?
1000%, dude, yeah.
I can tell we're the same where it's like nobody was stopping you.
No.
Nobody.
Not
your
even
freaking
close.
mother could have been like, I don't
No.
want you, Giancarlo. It's like, no, Ma, this is happening.
This is what it is, right
So,
here.
and you know
it's
what?
great.
And being a home inspector, I see the need for home services is going through the roof. Like, it is a great time to get in home services because I think it's bifold. Like, you have the boomer generation where they're retiring, where for 40 years they would have done this stuff themselves. Like, you had the old guy probably would have bought a backpack sprayer and sprayed his own yard, but now he can't do that anymore. He doesn't want to do it. So you have that entire population to service. And then there's our generation where, like, they're cool with not doing it themselves. Like, they know it's probably better if it's trusted to a professional. So what you're doing and a lot of other home services, such a money time to get into it.
Totally.
Also,
Actually, yeah.
the Italian American community, like we are thriving right now. I feel like it's never been better to play into being Italian American. So the Mosquito Guido, like, timing is absolutely perfect. And I'm sure people love it too. Homeowners.
Yeah,
probably
totally.
love it. Yeah, and then you pull up. They call your company. You and your guys show up. There's a trust there. So you're building trust with
1000%.
homeowners. So this is the Knowledgeable Homeowner Podcast. We're here to kind of educate the people a little bit, maybe things they don't know too much about. So we started talking before. Let's get right into it. What is a common misconception for the pest control industry? Like, what is some things you want everybody to leave this episode knowing?
First and foremost, the most important thing, without a doubt, like no doubt in my mind, my name and pest control, I do everything pest control. It's not just the Mosquito Guido and I just do mosquitoes and ticks. That's not what it is. I'm a full pest control company. My legal name is TMG Pest Control.
Nice.
So that is the forefront of my business. It's all pest control. I'm a pest control company that also does mosquito and tick control.
Yeah.
That's it. But the Mosquito Guido is too good for me to get rid of.
No.
It sticks way too nice.
Yeah. And business-wise, it's such a good reoccurring business. It gets you in the door with new clients, and it also keeps you on your existing. Like, if you go and remove a bird's nest for a client, you could say, hey, listen, we do the mosquito and tick spray.
1000%.
Now you're getting them from both angles, so that's awesome. So what are other, like, when you say pests, like, what are some other situations where people don't realize I'm calling my pest control guy? Like, what are some good ones?
A really great common one that I get is, your mother-in-law comes over and she's talking way too much.
Nice.
And then you call me up and then
Yeah, that's it.
Listen, more than likely, right, it's people hear shit crawling around, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it could be in the walls. Sometimes they could see some, ants inside of their kitchen or a wasp hornet nest inside their house, There could be so many different things. And just like you said, believe it or not, most people try to do things themselves first.
Yeah.
But when they realize, oh my gosh, I'm in a little bit over my head here, that's when I'm called. And my favorite part about my business, right, is that I'm owner-operator. So I can beat costs pretty heavily, and I'm there to help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm good at what I do, which is great.
So I get the call. I am the guy people call when they don't know who to call. Past clients, family, friends, family, and I don't know why the hesitation to call the pest control guy. Like this past 2 falls, late summers, the amount of dude, my house is swarming with bees or hornets. That's one of those where I do a lot of shit myself. You saw the mice traps in here, right? Because I have chickens back there. Chickens bring the mice. So
chickens bring rats.
Listen,
too.
I'll take care of that. I'll take care. If there's a hornet's nest in my house,
yeah, dude.
I think partially what it is people are in a little bit of denial. They don't want to admit that there's a real problem, so they're trying to save money. But I mean, I've heard stories about hornet's nests. People either they're falling out of hi-hats, or sometimes they'll hear them buzzing, or they see 1 or 2, and then you guys come in, you drop the ceiling, and there's 1,000 of them in there.
Dude, I just did one yesterday. I literally just did one yesterday. It was a big, huge cutout. Big. Yeah, it was probably I think it was like a 4 or 5 tier.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Hornets, bees, what is it?
Yellow jackets.
Yellow jackets.
And this is another thing that's crazy about the yellow jacket scene, right? Just like a human being, right? I mean, listen, seasons definitely change the amount of insects that you'll see. But if there's a nest that's inside your house, there is a proper temperature in there. There is, great nesting materials in there.
It's the ideal situation.
It's ideal. So they can live over the winter and get bigger and bigger and bigger every single every month.
Yeah.
It's a big. That's also a big misconception.
Yeah.
That you mentioned earlier.
Yeah. So
that'll just go away.
What we'll see, because we're talking hornet's nest, and I have it on my mind. You have a hornet's nest. It's somehow getting into the ceiling or the floor between the first and the second, that dead space. They're getting in through the exterior. There's a hole or something that they're getting in. And here's what I've heard, and I want to get your opinion on it. They're in there. I see them flying in and out. As a homeowner, I might not realize how big that nest already is. But what people do is they spray from the outside. And what I've heard is that kind of drives them further into the house. You have a take on that? You think spraying the hornets from the outside at that point, it's not effective?
No, not
right?
Literally not at all. So because that product has 0 residual, pretty much everything that you could purchase at a hardware store as a homeowner is pretty ineffective.
Yeah,
right?
It's really, really watered down.
Yeah,
poison.
I mean, to be completely honest with you, right? This is the Helpful Homeowner Podcast.
Yeah.
So one of the best at-home remedies for an instantaneous, stinging insect knockdown is 50-50 blend of Dawn dish soap and water.
Yeah.
You put it in a pump sprayer.
That's it.
Yeah.
Just waters them down,
knockdown.
they can't fly, and the Dawn sticks to them.
Literally, it breaks down their a layer of cells.
Wow.
Yeah, and
so
it
it's
instantaously
actually
kills
pretty
them. Yeah.
fucking gnarly.
Definitely gnarly.
Breaks down a layer of their cells.
Yeah,
so they're
something
just
like
dying.
that.
Yeah, that's pretty badass.
I wish I could speak
Dawn
more
soap,
scientific.
water. Nah, we don't talk science here, bro. We're talking breaking down cells. So they're screaming. Yeah, you
basically want to make it you want the mixture to just be like a blue, flowy liquid. It shouldn't be thick. It should just be kind of more watery.
Okay, that's actually pretty good, because I feel like a big thing right now in homeowners, family mindset is limiting poisons, and I mean pesticides is a poison. So if you're gonna go buy store brand stuff anyway, just go spend $20 on a pump sprayer. Everyone's got Dawn soap and water, and there you go. But
without a doubt,
realistically, most of the time at that point they see the hornets flying in and out of the spot. It's probably pretty real.
I think another thing too that's nuts, right, is especially this right now we're getting a little bit later into the wasp and hornet season, right? So as the season goes on, obviously the nest is getting larger and larger. So one thing that's super funny to me is a lot of people are just like, hey, yeah, whatever, I sprayed it and I put spray foam over top so they can't get in.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't think you understand. There's something fat back there.
Yeah.
So the best thing that I do is I have a infrared or a thermal camera.
Yeah.
So I bring the customer over to the area, right? So let's say they're getting in through a piece of the siding right here. I go directly upstairs, wherever wherever that room is, and I utilize the FLIR camera.
Nice.
Right? And
you
I
have
see
a FLIR brand one
yeah,
too?
Yeah.
Nice, man.
So
I get the cheap one, the Peak Micro.
Yeah, well, it's badass. The thing is badass. So then you see a big hot spot, and I'm like, well, that's the nest right there. They're like, no way. So then I'm like, do I have permission to drill a hole in your wall? Oh. So I drill a small hole in the wall, and I stick a camera through.
You got a little scope camera?
A little scope camera.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's just like
crazy.
That's
all they need to see.
And that was it, and they're like, oh my God.
And now a word from our sponsor, the Ryan Anthony Head Start Fund. This foundation is focused on providing alternative career paths for young people other than just college. If you want to learn more about what they got going on and some updates, you can check them out at lookwhomadeit.org. Now back to the show.
So, because we're hammering the hornets thing, and I feel like this is a really important point. I've had exterminators tell me specifically, because you guys know what you're walking into. You don't even have to see it. You know that's what it's going to be. You just have to convince the homeowner. Homeowners, if they have a feeling there's a wasp nest in their ceiling, they should not cut it open themselves. Like I've heard, like if they got no Tyvek suit on, if they have their kids hanging out, like there could potentially be 1,000 hornets in that nest. If you're opening up that ceiling, like when you do it, nobody's there, you're probably suited up, protected, right? So like a homeowner probably shouldn't just dive in and take that out themselves.
Yeah, it's not necessarily, like, I actually never have any idea what it's going to be when I get there. So that's why, like, when I get there, I'm a blank canvas and I have to inspect first.
Every house is unique.
Every single house is unique.
So we got to investigate a little bit.
Exactly.
Okay. No assumptions.
Yeah, I'll literally give you the process on what it is. I get there, I do a full inspection. If the people don't know where they're coming in, I'm looking. Okay, well, there's the entry and exit point, right? There could be multiple, but more than likely one nest has one entry and exit point.
Okay.
So there's that. All right, that's on the top right of the house. So I go on the inside of the house, the top right of the house, and look in that room. Now, what I'm looking for when you go inside of that room is a wet spot. If there's a wet spot where they're coming in and out, that's exactly where the nest is going to be.
And that wet spot is from them.
That wet spot is from them.
Coming into the hole. It's
that wet spot is from them.
Nastiness they got going on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes there is no wet spot.
Okay.
But you have to be careful poking around because it's as simple as, a small light touch and it'll crumble.
Because they ate away at the drywall. Whatever is going on there took away the drywall.
Then it's pretty much up to them. If we have a wet spot and they're already starting to breach, my recommendation is to 1,000% cut it out. If they don't want to do that, we utilize what's called a dust. Okay. And it's in like a bulb duster. And you just pump it.
You're poisoning them from the outside.
Exactly.
To kill the nest.
Or even better yet, if there's a wet spot or there is no wet spot, but I stick the scope in there and I see that the nest is in this location, I could drill a small hole and actually put the dust inside as well.
A little spot treatment
inside as well.
It's funny to go on about it, but it's unbelievable how many calls I get about wasp nests in home. And actually, we did a project once. We gutted a second floor, and thank God it was probably a 20-year-old nest, but we saw, and this was before I really was in business, so we saw a hive that was so gnarly big. It blew my mind then that I was like, this was in here, nobody knew. Because I even asked the homeowner, he's like, nah, nothing, never. It's crazy. So it was probably a long time ago.
Probably a very long
hornets,
time ago.
And it's the end of the summer too. I feel like it gets a little crazier because they probably had the whole season to build. Right, so it's like I feel
that's
like
really when they start building.
Yeah. So that's when I get most of the calls. End of the summer, and now like maybe a little less now, but like September. Yeah. Like even in my family, my brother-in-law was dealing with it. He's got 4 kids. He had 1,000 freaking hornets flying around. It was stressing.
It's gnarly.
Yeah. All right, cool. So that's hornets. Let's talk about the tick and mosquito spray.
Sure.
So you mentioned before organic product. When you're going to kill mosquitoes, what actually are you using?
So it's an all natural product. Organic is like I think it's safer to be consumed. Like a consumable product. This is all natural, so there's definitely different. Yeah,
so
it's different.
It's still a pesticide, this one?
No, it's not. It's all natural. It's a 25B unregulated. It's regulated, but not like it doesn't have an EPA registration number. So basically, it's a far safer product.
This is the one that smells nicer, right?
Yeah, it smells nicer. Yeah.
So I was friendly with a pest control guy. He did tick and mosquito spray. He was a trio to tick and mosquito spray. Still a good dude. I talk to him every now and then. But I remember there was, I think, bifenthrin. Yeah, super common. That's not what you put down, right?
No,
That's the chemical.
Yeah, bifenthrin is very strong.
Yeah, you'll see them falling out of trees and stuff when you do that. But that's a harsh, pretty serious chemical. So and I think is more common now is what you guys do is the all natural. It's like a mix of essential oils, different things.
Exactly right. So there, and I'll be honest, right? Of course, a synthetic pesticide will work better than an all-natural pesticide, which makes sense.
What else is it doing while you're spraying that down?
Yeah, so, mind you, we wear protective gear no matter what. Mm-hmm. We always have, long sleeve shirts on sometimes.
With you guys, because you're fogging an area.
Yeah, exactly. So, a lot of questions that I get asked, is a pet safe? 1,000% safe for your pets. I recommend...
All pets?
Yeah, I recommend letting it dry. Yeah, chickens, it's fine.
'Cause I got my
the only thing, even the thing that I make sure of, I don't like to spray anything near or at a vegetable garden or a koi pond.
Cool, because that's one of the questions I wanted to ask is like, what gets covered, what doesn't get covered? Like if you're in the backyard, my patio, you'll fog up my patio, but anything
I wouldn't fog up.
So you wouldn't fog up. So you were just doing the grass, we're doing the back, but the stuff that my kids are gonna play on, like you wouldn't be blasting like their swing set with it.
No.
Okay, cool.
So listen, and I could blast your swing set with it, but it's not. If I was doing that, I would use different types of chemicals. One of them could be potentially bifenthrin. It's more of a simple chemical, a general use chemical, right? If you wanted, you were like, Giancarlo, listen, I can't stand all the spider webs that are being built. So I spray all the peaks and the corners that have, the spider webs in it, right? But in this circumstance, when servicing your yard, we're spraying every square inch that is bushes, shrubs, lawn, under the deck, behind the shed, right? And while we're doing the service, we're looking for areas that have standing water, right? So, for example, behind your shed, you might have a 5-gallon bucket, a tire, a hubcap upside down,
the
whatever.
wheelbarrows
Whatever.
full of water.
Yeah, and to be honest, what I do is I will pour them out strategically, carefully. If it's a lot of water and I don't want to flood an area out, I contact the homeowner.
Let them know.
Yeah.
But you're doing that because maybe somebody doesn't realize that is a breeding ground for mosquitoes.
Dude, I can see if I can send you a video that I have to put it like on screen during this. But there was this one bucket of just mosquito farm. There was little things, the little larvae swimming around. They almost look like super
crazy.
tiny, like
so you
larvae.
actually can see the larvae.
Yeah, absolutely.
And standing water, puddles, buckets, stuff like that in somebody's yard is a breeding ground for. That's where the mosquitoes are going to go.
1,000%. Yeah.
So that's a pretty good point to get into, is because some people, they'll get the tick and mosquito spray. How often are you doing it? Like every other week, once a month? How often is your recommended spray during the season?
Every 3 weeks.
Every 3 weeks.
Every 3 weeks.
So what the complaint I'll get from people is they'll say like, yeah, I know, but he sprays and then 3 days later the mosquitoes are back, right? So we dump the water out. Like, are there other steps people can take to make their lawn, their backyard still comfortable to sit in even after, because between the 3 weeks there might be a period of time where the mosquitoes come back. So what are ways that people can, make your process more effective?
Your service is as good as the technician.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what machine you use. It doesn't matter what chemical you use. There is a plethora of cases and stories, people that have been talking, even my new customers, some of the customers that I've been using, for a long time, they tell me, who've transferred over from other companies, we watch them on the Ring camera, they spray 2 minutes and bounce.
Yeah.
It's different. We're spraying front side, back side of the bush, we're spraying the whole lawn, which is a night and day difference.
Yeah, so
like
that
a
makes
night
sense.
and day difference,
That makes sense. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of players in your game now. There's a lot of guys doing it, and it's a business, so the owner isn't going out and spraying the yard. And your employees are people that you're close with, the guys that got doing it. I've seen them.
I'm out in the field.
You're doing it
every day.
And even if somebody else was going to go, you're intimately training this guy, making sure he's doing the right thing, making sure he's repping the brand right. I see some of the franchises, not to knock franchises, but sometimes you see the trucks, and next door he's got a huge front lawn, and one of the old homeowners used to get it sprayed. This guy was booking it up and down the lawn. He probably did that whole yard. It's 300 feet. He probably did it in 5 minutes. It was unbelievable. He had to be gassed when he was done. But that makes sense. So it's really, if you do a bad job, you're going to get a bad, garbage in, garbage out.
That's exactly right, man. So, once again, it really does depend on your quality of workmanship, right? So we're actually we're honestly so proud of how good of a job we do. We take a video time-lapse recording of every single service and send it over to that homeowner. Because
touching base on what I was saying before about the tech stuff, man. It's a different level to what you're bringing to the
people watch it on the Ring camera. All right, well, how about you watch it first person of me hitting every single thing?
I got nothing to hide.
Yeah,
I've been thinking about wearing a body cam on job. I've never had an issue, but we're going to people's houses. I have no problem. You watch me the whole time. You can watch the entire process.
Without a doubt.
All right, cool. So we taking pride in what we're doing, and that makes a big difference with the tick mosquito spray. Now, the tick mosquito spray, that's the same thing. When we're spraying for mosquitoes, we're spraying for ticks. It's the same thing, or is there a different process for ticks?
Yes and no. So, I mean, listen, ticks are the tallest, the highest they could be up off the ground is about the size of a deer.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
So
Didn't know that.
that, and then also on the lawn, they're crawling insects. They don't fly, they don't jump, they don't run.
Yeah, just rub
You know,
them
I mean,
against
they definitely can go pretty fast up the
Yeah.
leg.
Yeah.
But what I know for a fact is, when you're doing a tick treatment, you want to spray probably about 3 to 4 feet up a bush and the entire lawn. But the way that we
to clarify,
do it,
there's if I call you, like my yard, I definitely don't want mosquitoes, but I definitely also don't want ticks. I'm backed up to a nature preserve. So if you walk through there in the middle of summer, you're leaving with ticks. You would do 2 separate processes, but it would just be, would you take a different approach saying that I wanted to kill the ticks too?
No, I mean, listen, what I would do is, I mean, it's different right now because right now is tick breeding season.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Right now it's tick breeding season.
Yeah, they breed ridiculous right now.
So there's a higher chance of me getting ticks right now than over the summer, would you say, or is that not?
I would say it's about the same.
Wow,
yeah.
I wouldn't even think about it right now. Yeah. Okay,
And,
so
and that's
still
a big misconception right there again. But
so
yeah,
ticks, the tick season, months-wise, when should I care? Like I said, over here it's huge. My dogs, I got to check them all the time. I've had ticks on me. When should I be worried about ticks?
honestly, from spring to, I would say from probably
just not the winter, pretty much saying. Spring,
May,
summer,
May,
fall.
May to November.
May to November.
May to November.
All right, cool. I didn't. Yeah, for some
pay
reason,
attention.
I don't know if it's ticks. And again, being over here, maybe it's because we're doing more outdoor stuff. But we go down to the town beach. There's tall grass. We always watch out for that. The soccer field's got tall grass all over the place. So always watching out for that. But I was exposed to it recently. I didn't even think too much about it. So I was like, it's cold. They're not there. All right, so they're still there. All
Definitely
right, so
still there,
ticks.
yeah.
Oh wow, okay. And you said right now it's breeding season, so it could actually it's
Yeah,
just
so
high.
usually what ends up happening is the females are breeding right now, and they're carrying an egg sack, and then they basically hibernate over the winter time.
Oh,
and
so
then,
these are
and
the
then they
little
hatch in spring.
suckers for next year.
Yeah,
So
so-
if we kill them now, wow. So you gonna spray my yard right now?
Yeah, dude.
Bro, I'll take it.
That's the thing, man. I was running this whole big promotion, the
Yeah.
$50 for the
Yeah,
for the lawn.
about it,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's the thing. It's because
It's a
people
real
don't know it.
legitimately effective method. Is to,
Yeah,
is to hit
it
them
is.
now.
It
Let's
is.
get them now.
Yeah, before they're even crawling, we're getting them.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
So-
we're killing them. Yeah, we're killing them in the birth sack or whatever, the egg
Yeah,
sack. Yeah,
birth
fuck 'em.
sack. Yeah.
All right, ticks. All right, so let's see what else we got. I mean, I'm pretty good with our questions. Anything else you wanted to get into?
Let's see real quick.
Crickets?
Yeah, of course.
Crickets. That's a great one. Spider crickets.
Yeah.
Anything with that. I go in crawl spaces, I see thousands of spiders. You know what I'm talking about, the spider
They're ugly.
crickets?
Yeah, dude. They're
Yeah,
ugly.
yeah.
They're
People, you ever
ugly.
get calls for them?
Absolutely.
People
dude.
hate those things.
Well, because they're ugly, they jump. They're big. They're not small. They're
yeah, they're
big.
huge.
Yeah.
See, I go in crawl spaces because I'm living in crawl spaces. I'll see 100 of them.
Yeah, dude. Absolutely.
Staring at and when I first redid this house, I had a lot of holes in the floor from where we cut in the baseboard. So I couldn't believe it. They're sneaking in like crazy. My wife
Totally.
was freaking out. I spray foamed all the holes.
Absolutely.
But, so do you get a lot of calls for something like do you get a lot of
Absolutely.
calls for non-issue pests? Like hornets, we don't want a hornet in there because they're going to sting you, right? But is there other pests that maybe are a little more innocent that people they don't want to see it? Like a spider cricket or.
Yeah, ants, spider
Ants.
crickets.
Yeah, like ants in the kitchen. You got to go in and you got to spray.
Yeah, I really like to use baits for ants, just because usually they're in, I would say, a bit more, close proximity spaces for food products and utensils and stuff like that. And in my opinion, you have to do a lot of prep to make sure that the spray isn't all over their counter. So I just take a little bait station, put a little ant bait in there, hide it behind the toaster, the knife bin, whatever.
Yeah.
It's just easier that way,
get it in the kitchen.
and it's super effective.
Yeah.
Let me think about what else. A lot of calls for the crickets, spider crickets.
Yeah.
But once again, Helpful Homeowner Podcast. People want to do it themselves. Set up 1,000 glue boards.
Yeah.
The ones that are meant for mice.
Yeah.
Set up 1,000,000 of those.
That's
things.
what I throw in here. I have the glue traps because we get regular crickets in here, and that is the innocent pest that I can't stand the most. Is the big black regular cricket. For some reason, the past 3 Septembers, one will come up through a wall and get stuck behind my cabinets
And just chirp.
and it chirps so loud, and my wife laughs because I go nuts. So what I've been doing is I'll fog him out. I grab Lysol and I'll just fog him out. I don't know where he is, but I know he's nearby, and I just fog him out. And the chirp stops for like a good hour, so I can fall asleep. But yeah, dude, that's
and it comes right back.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But it's enough for me to knock back out. But they're just going. But all right, dude. So you do tick mosquito spray. You take care of pests. A bird in the attic. Right, you take care of stuff like squirrels.
Another great,
raccoons.
Another great point. I use the only lethal extremities that I use are specifically rats and mice.
Yeah, kill them.
Everything else,
snap traps or
poison? It's snap traps,
Hell
and I
yeah.
also do use I also do
mice.
utilize the bait stations. But I have a really big heart, man, and I actually get sick. So like
sick seeing them get poisoned.
No, sick seeing like, for example, if I had to kill a raccoon or kill a squirrel or all that stuff, it makes me sick. So I'm a big believer in dropping them at rehab centers.
Oh, nice.
So that's what I do. So
I've heard stories about how they eliminate them.
Dude,
that is gnarly.
It's rough.
I don't even want to bring it up.
That's what makes me sick. I'm not joking.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Makes me actually
get
sick.
them out of my house. Being over here, I mean, my garbage pails get ravaged.
Yeah,
by
dude.
Cats, squirrels, there's foxes over here now, and raccoons.
Yep.
I have punched a raccoon before. Not even kidding. I have a video of me punching a raccoon. But I don't want to eliminate them. I just don't want them to bother my stuff. They kill my chickens all the time.
Yeah,
so that's the turf war we have here.
The turf war.
Yeah, it's big. The raccoons go crazy. But it's also, listen, they got to eat too. So they go and knock over the garbage pail. It is what it is. But yeah, I mean, in an attic, we just got to get them out. Because I've seen vacant houses, inspecting vacant houses, and the raccoons are the only ones living there for years. All the amount of like poop.
It smells like the urine, the ammonia in the urine is
that what it is? It's so gnarly, dude.
Hits you right over here.
That was rough, dude. So all right, so pest control. It's everything. I mean, we
top to bottom.
Top to bottom. If we got something, even the mother-in-laws.
The mother-in-laws, literally everying and everybody can make it happen.
Awesome,
man.
dude. I appreciate the info. I think the people, pest control is a big thing, and people they want to try to do it themselves, but most of the time, in my experience, they end up calling the exterminator anyway. And that's a common term, right? Pest control pro, exterminator. Is that the same thing? Are you an exterminator? Because I hear that term, right?
Essentially, yeah.
What is an exterminator?
It's essentially very, very similar fields. I mean, if there is any difference, I'm not even aware of the differences.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess in my own standpoint, in my own circumstances, I guess I can be considered an exterminator. But once again, I'm really cautious with how I number one utilize.
We don't like exterminating. Yeah, I got you.
I mean,
so I think it's
insects,
more of a
bugs.
term.
Insects and different types of bugs, stuff like that. I'm a little bit more heartless with.
Yeah, of course.
But like bees, I'm a bee believer.
Hell yeah, the honeybee.
The honeybee, dude.
I told my nephew, I said we wouldn't be here without the honeybee.
Totally.
He said, no way. I'm like,
dude, we avoid spraying, like when we're outside, right? We avoid spraying, number one, if it's a really, really windy day. We also avoid spraying bushes that are pollinating bushes if they have small buds. If we're going up to the bush and we see that there's 17 bumblebees buzzing around, we're not spraying that bush.
Nice.
Yeah,
we care.
So
the Mosquito
we care.
Guido, man. He's got a fucking heart.
Dude, it's big, man.
It's
big.
They freaking.
Don't let the tattoos fool you. I'm not a criminal.
I know, man.
I'm not a criminal.
We're good people,
swear.
bro. We're good people.
I swear.
We're doing it for the people.
It's
We're
true.
doing it for the bees.
It's true.
It's the Knowledgeable Homeowner Podcast, but we also are helping homeowners. So I do like the helpful homeowner. Maybe we will roll with both. But we love the bees. We love the people. Giancarlo,
oh, it's hopeful homeowner?
No, it's the Knowledgeable Homeowner.
Knowledgeable.
Knucklehead.
Oh my God! You should have corrected me the first time, dude.
Never. No.
All right. Well, at least they're.
The Knowledgeable Homeowner Podcast is also helping homeowners. Bro.
Yeah.
It's helping.
They gain some knowledge, I guess,
brother.
right?
Hell yeah.
A couple things. My apologies, dude. Fucking A, dude.
Why don't you tell the people where they can find you? Drop your handle.
Sure thing. I would say the best place to find me for sure is on Google, number one, tmgpestcontrol.com, Facebook, Instagram as well. I have pretty nice little following there. Make a lot of fun skits, a lot of fun videos, very engaging with the community, especially my customers as well. So yeah, definitely check me out on Instagram. It's tmgpc.li, the Mosquito Guido Pest Control Long Island. All right, and then on Facebook, it's Team G Pest Control - the Mosquito Guido. All right, so I'll be looking forward to hearing from people, seeing different follows and questions. I'll be more than happy to ask.
Absolutely. Give the Mosquito Guido a follow. Subscribe to the Knowledgeable Homeowner Podcast. Till next time. Thank you, brother.
Appreciate you. Thank you very much, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.